What's up guys, it's your favorite Kiwi coach and give me 6 months of your time and I'll give you the best golf swing of your life. So welcome back to the channel. In this particular video, we're going to be reacting to another video. However, this video is going to be quite special because we're reacting to a Bryson DeChambeau video. If you do not know, Bryson DeChambeau has his own YouTube channel, which we'll link down below. And in this particular video, he's teaching you how he plays golf. So if you're interested in how Bryson DeChambeau plays golf, and as well you want to see him teach an amateur golfer, this is the perfect video for you. And let's go ahead and jump in. But before we get to the video, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, and that is Kiwi Golf Japan. If you did not know, YouTube does not pay the bills. If you want to help support this YouTube channel, after the video is over, there will be a link down below. If you guys sign up for the Kiwi Platinum membership site, you're really going to help support this YouTube channel so we can continue to post for you. As well, you get access to over 320 plus videos, and we post roughly like 25 videos per month on that site. So definitely go check it out. And now let's get into Bryson DeChambeau, how he plays golf. So to start the video out, there's not a lot of PGA Tour players that have their own YouTube channel, and I think that the PGA has some type of rule to where they're not allowed to do this. However, Bryson DeChambeau, for whatever reason, has found a way to get around it. So we're quite lucky to be able to have this, and there's really not a whole lot of videos online as well as on Golf Channel or wherever you want to watch where you get to see a professional golfer talk about the way they do things, where they control the media, right? So this will be quite unique because, you know, this is exactly how Bryson DeChambeau wants you to kind of see how he plays golf. So this will be a very unique video that, you know, you probably haven't been able to get in the past. So what I want to go ahead and do now is we're going to jump ahead to the part where they start talking about the grip, and this will be the first part of the video. So let's skip to that part.
It's more of a chill day for me, showing you all how I swing the golf club. Probably a lot of people are going to be bored with it, but there's a lot of people that don't know and want to hear my input on how you swing a golf club and maybe some tidbits of information that could help you in your game, in your pursuit of perfection. The most important thing you can do when gripping a golf club is feeling comfortable. You want to feel as comfortable as possible gripping it. Whatever grip style it is, doesn't matter what it is, to influence how you swing the golf club, how you apply force to it, how you move the golf club in a...
Okay, so tip number one of Bryson is you want to feel comfortable when you're gripping the club, which I can definitely agree with. Now, for most golf instructors, they would say you probably want to have a certain style of grip relative to kind of what shot shape you typically struggle with. And I think this particular video is almost just more geared towards the very, very beginner type of golfer. However, I could be completely wrong. But I think for the most part, that's great advice. You know, try a bunch of different grip styles, feel which one feels the most comfortable for you. And most likely, even if it's not the most optimal for you, because you feel comfortable, you're probably going to find some workarounds through the wrist angles or through whatever. You're probably going to be able to make it work. So tip number one, be comfortable when you're gripping the club. I like that. Let's move forward.
A manner that's repeatable. You just want to grip it and feel comfortable. So whatever way, if it's 10 finger, if it's interlock, if it's overlap, even if it's reverse grip. I've seen people do. There's a college player that reverse grips it. It's pretty insane, actually. You want to feel really comfortable. So last year, my grip was more like this. And I've switched between more palm, more fingers on both hands as well, you know.
Okay, so that section of the video, he wasn't really necessarily talking about placement in terms of strong to weak. He was more so talking about placement in terms of where was the grip in his hand. So currently right now, I think he's trying to get a little bit more palm side, I believe is what he said, but maybe he switched also in the past to a little bit more finger, and he kind of messes around with it and tries to figure out, you know, what feels most comfortable to him. Now, typically as golf instructors, we recommend to never really put the grip in the palm itself, because that's typically going to lead to really an inefficient use of the force and torques on the grip. And it's very difficult to control the club head. You know, we always typically recommend you want to see the grip running towards the bottom of the fingers here, slightly angled out to the side. Close the fingers, close the palm, and that's kind of what you want to have in terms of placement in the grip, and that's a good general rule of thumb. However, DeChambeau is a little bit different in the way that he actually wants to grip the club. So it's pretty unique to see him talking about trying to grip it in the palm, because that's definitely contrarian to, you know, what a lot of golf instructors are saying. So let's continue with this.
You know, for me, I'm a little bit weaker. It's pretty weak. It's definitely not strong, and it's definitely not over there, but it's more.
Okay, so now he's going over his personal grip when it comes to the left hand. So when he's talking about weak, typically if there's a little V between the thumb and the finger, wherever that's directed towards is kind of showing you where the placement is when they talk about weak, strong, and neutral. So if I take my left hand like this V is kind of pointing straight up towards my neck. That'd be a little bit more on the weaker side. If it's slightly over this way, slightly more this way right here, that would be a little bit more neutral. If it's actually pointing towards the right shoulder with this lead hand or left hand, that'd be a little bit more on the stronger side. So for DeChambeau, he's a little bit more on the weaker side. And I think the reason for this, and I could be wrong, but I believe DeChambeau used to struggle quite a lot with the hook. So a lot of what he does with the setup as well as his grip is trying to actually minimize face closure so he can kind of minimize the hook and never really even have to worry about it, which is quite unique. And I did a video about this, I think, where I said Bryson DeChambeau was like the Hogan of golf because he was trying all these unique, different things than Hogan actually as well, but some, similar ones as well, trying to cure the hook. But anyways, I've got off on a little tangent there. Let's continue.
Or here. And it's just whatever is comfortable relative to when I swing it, waggling it, I want to feel the face move a certain way. If it's like this and I'm moving it, I feel that face is too open. If it's here, I know it's closed. If somebody was just to hand it to me, I would close my eyes, I just gripped it like that, I would know that that's upside down. And it's not by me looking at all. It's by me feeling the weight of the head. When you're initially just gripping it, you just want to grip it where the thumbs are pretty much pointed.
Let's stop it here before he gets too far. So the other point that he's trying to talk about there is when you actually grip the club, him personally, when he's waggling the club, he likes to have the face feel a certain way with the natural way that he waggles the club, right? The natural way that he forces and torques the club in that little waggling section. So for him, having the grip a little bit more on the weaker side, as well as some other body parts are kind of changed a little bit differently, which we'll talk about here in a second. When he's able to do that, he feels like the face is not really going to be closing, or the toe, he doesn't feel like it's going to close like that as he's doing his waggle. And to him, that's giving him the confidence that the ball's not going to go left, is my personal opinion. But let's continue with this.
Down the middle of the grip, maybe off to the side a little bit with the right hand, if you're right-handed, and this left hand, just get it to where it's, you see a couple knuckles, 3 knuckles even, that's really strong, but I see 1 knuckle, whatever is comfortable for you.
So if you picked it up there, for him, he's just seeing 1 knuckle, which means the placement of this little V right here is definitely more so in the weak fashion. If you could see 2 knuckles, that's gonna be a little bit more neutral, so the V would be pointed a little bit off to the side of the neck. If you could see like 3 knuckles, that'd be more so on the strong side where the V is pointing a little bit more towards the trail shoulder. All right, so what he's just saying is, this is my personal grip. You could also be in these places, try them out, see what you like, and then go from there, right? Which I think is great advice.
I use Jumbo Max grips because they're super comfortable. They allow me to grip it in the palm of my hand a lot better. I can apply more force. I feel like.
Now this is a very important part as well to him. So he wants to have the grip running a little bit more so in the palms. So with the larger grip, he feels like it's easier for that to occur, which I've definitely found as well. The larger the grip, it's a little bit more difficult to grip in the fingers, right? Because the grip is so large. So it almost forces you to place a little bit more in the palms, which for DeChambeau, he says he feels like he gets a little bit more force and torque, which I wouldn't necessarily agree with. However, I'd definitely be interested to hear more videos of him, talking about that in more detail, which I think he might have on his channel. So maybe we'll react to those after this. But for the most part, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that statement, and I found that to be almost the opposite with my experience with clients as well as myself. But let's continue.
I can control the golf club a lot better, the face a lot better. For me, it works really, really well.
All right, so next we're getting into how to set up, and he's not necessarily talking about like heel line, knee line, rib cage line type of ideas, or like ball position, or how far away to stand and all that stuff. He's more so talking about when it comes to actually kind of gripping the club, kind of the triangle that the arms make with the club shaft itself. He's talking about where he's positioning the upper arm, the forearm. He's talking about all of this, which is very unique to him. So this will be a very interesting part of the video. So let's go for it.
When you're setting up to the golf ball, you want to make sure you're in a place where you're comfortable, obviously, first off. And second off, repeatable. For me, how I repeat motion, this is how I do it. This is not telling you this is how you got to do it, but you should try it, see if it works for you. What I do with the arms is I go fully internal with this upper segment of the left arm. So this left shoulder, fully internal.
Okay, when he's talking about fully internal, first off, he's talking about the upper part of the arm right here. So cut off from the elbow right here, this upper part, that's where he's trying to have internal. Or you could just see the elbow joint right here is going to be pointing a little bit more this way, almost kind of parallel to the target, as opposed to more so down towards the ground or at his body, which would be a little bit more traditional. Then from there, what he's going to talk about, which I'll let him say in a second here, but basically the forearm right here, he's trying to actually have it rotated in a different way than the actual upper part of the arm, which again is a very unique way. However, I think is very interesting as well. But let's have him say it first and I'll break it down.
This lower segment that stays stable goes external. Boom, and then I grip the glove. That's how I grip it.
Okay, and then also when he says external in terms of like rotation, that's going to be a little bit more supination in the wrist, or that's going to be a little bit more of that counterclockwise rotation in the forearm. That's what he means by external rotation. So this one right here, this upper arm, is going to be rotated opposite of the lower arm right here. And basically what that's going to do is the upper arm is going to be at its end of range of motion, which means it can't rotate any more than the way that he's trying to rotate currently. And then the forearm is going to be rotated at its end range of motion as well, which means it can't rotate any more than the way that he's trying to rotate it. So basically, the upper arm and the lower arm are going to be locked in place there, which doesn't allow him to really rotate his forearms quite a lot as he approaches the ball, which is going to be something that's very beneficial for someone who hooks the golf ball or has the toe turn over quite a lot. If you're trying to minimize the hook, this is actually kind of a great way to set up the lead arm, a very unique way, but a very interesting way that could potentially help you with the hook. So, this is why I wanted to do this video, because I really thought this, I've done other videos, I think, on this with DeChambeau, but this is kind of from him actually saying it, so I thought this was interesting. Let's continue.
And that's how I hold it. And I'm trying to retain this left arm being stable in this position the whole way through the golf stroke. So I'm holding these positions at in range, internal, external, fully external.
And keyword there, he's trying to maintain that. Doesn't mean he actually does, right? So I think on the backswing, there's a point towards the top where it doesn't really do that. And then also post impact, somewhere through the fall through, it's also going to break down eventually as well. But that's just his feeling that he's attempting to do. And he definitely does it a lot more than any other golfer would as well. So he's doing a great job of it. And it could be one of the reasons why he swings so fast and still able to have relatively good accuracy for how fast he swings, right? It's quite incredible, actually. All right, that's it for you guys on YouTube, but before you guys click off, let me give you some quick wrap-up points. So first and foremost, we're definitely very lucky that we're able to see a YouTube channel and a video of Bryson DeChambeau teaching you, but that is controlled by himself, right? Lots of times you can see maybe videos like this, but they're going to be cut and edited by maybe the Golf Channel, Golf Digest, or maybe even the PGA, and it might not necessarily be exactly the way that DeChambeau would want to explain things. But because he owns this YouTube channel, this is exactly the information he wants you to hear and listen to. So, we're definitely lucky to be able to see that, because there's not a lot of, I don't think there's any other PGA Tour player that has their own YouTube channel who can actually go ahead and do this. So make sure to watch this video plenty of times. I thought the most interesting parts was when he explained his own personal setups, as opposed to kind of the basic guidelines he gave you. Because I think for people out there who do struggle with the hook, a lot of what he talks about with his setup is definitely unique and different and contrarian, but I think it actually really help you guys out. So make sure to go through those parts, and yeah, that's pretty much it. DeChambeau's channel will be linked down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share to this channel as well. Make sure to check out that Kiwi Platinum membership site. It really supports this channel, and other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.